The question today is, I got a master's degree in cybersecurity, but I'm only getting offers for entry-level positions. Why is that? And I'll give you the backstory behind that. I was at a career fair, and a gentleman came up to me, shared that with me. His story was he was a veteran, used his GI Bill, thought that he was doing the right thing, spent the time, the years, the effort to get this master's degree in cybersecurity. Graduates, come to find out, he's still starting at ground level. Now, share why you think that is.
Well, I think it's very easy to equate the level of academia that he has achieved and pairing that to the industry equivalent, but he's missing the variable of experience. Very easy to pair to pair that variable together, that he has that expectation.
Yeah,
that's what I graduated at. That's where I need to start at. He overlooked it a little bit, and that's easy to overlook something like that.
Yeah.
But maybe he needs to. I would say he probably needed a mentor as well.
Yeah.
As he made his journey into the cyber field, a mentor would have probably coached him through those expectations. And when you're coached through those expectations, it curbs a lot of the frustration that you're going to get when you go to career fairs, or when you go through the hiring and interviewing process, and you come out disappointed, maybe because you were passed by, you were offered on the low end of salaries. So I think a mentor, or there is this organization, the HDI local chapter, San Antonio local chapter.
HDI.
A lot of great mentors within that chapter to rub elbows with, firsthand practitioners. You can ask those questions there.
Yeah.
And so I, as well as you, are a part of that. We're more than welcome to have that conversation.
Join your local HDI chapter if you haven't already.
Yes.
All you IT and cyber and tech professionals.
I have no problem just explaining that, having that conversation with someone.
Yeah.
It's worth that conversation. As a matter of fact, I welcome that conversation.
No, it is. And to your point, right, where you said that a mentor would have helped him. I agree. I told him, or I asked him, hey, did any of your counselors along the way suggest that while you're working on your master's degree, go start at an entry-level position so you could build your experience, so that way by the time you graduate, you have your degree and you also have some experience to go with that. And he said no. And I was just appalled. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, what? And I don't know, man. Like you said, because I told him, had he spoke to someone like me or you, right? That's what I would have said. Get your degree. That's cool. But get into a tier 1 position, or something similar in that area, so that you're building up that expertise, that experience. So when that hiring manager asks about your experience, you can match experience with that degree.
Yeah, you can't expect everybody to take a good paced approach to getting out there and getting into the industry, because there's a whole lot of misconceptions and misguidedness that, you'll have people seeking you out and you have no problem getting a job, and so coming out of the military, I heard that. You did 20 plus years in the cyber industry, you should have no problem getting a job. You still have to do your homework. You still have to educate yourself.
Yep.
It's a whole new ball game getting out there into that big ocean.
Yes.
And so I think people hang their hat on just a little bit of laziness. I'm sorry. I really hate to put it that way.
Not lazy.
It's just taking that fad pill, if you will. But still, ask the right question.
Yes.
Ask the right
definitely.
questions.
I agree. Ask the right questions. If you're someone who's considering, going to a school to get a degree or even a certification, like he said, ask the right questions. Ask, is this degree the end all be all? Now, in some industries, maybe, but I can't think of any other industry that won't want to see some type of experience paired up with that credential. But that's a good point. And I'm gonna throw one out for you. This is also something I share for him. That institution that didn't give him that good guidance, right? A mentor or something like that. You know what they did get? They got that GI Bill.
You mean they reap the benefits?
They reap the benefits
of the GI Bill.
Of that veteran's GI Bill. They took that veteran's GI Bill, but nowhere along that journey did someone give them that guidance, like you just said, to ask the right questions.
Well, let's go down that road. What are the right questions? What are the right questions for an individual to ask? Good
point. I always go back to there's been a conversation. The phrase we came up with was, "What's your cyber profile?" Right? If you do have a notion that you want to be a cyber professional, cybersecurity professional, you said this before, right? Do your research.
Yeah.
Do your research. What flavor of cyber professional would you like to be? Right? Figure that would be the first one. Asking, and I think that comes in with the mentor. Find that mentor to be like, okay, to ask, hey, well, what are my options? What options of careers do I have on this cyber industry menu? Start there, and then I think it's just really like a layered approach, man, where first, when you figure out what your cyber profile will be, figure out what type of experience, education, credentialing, et cetera, it takes to get into that role. I think those are the questions, and hopefully whoever's watching this, if you're considering getting into a cyber career, cybersecurity career, a tech career, those are the questions you can ask right now. Thank JJ for asking me what questions to ask. Those are the questions that you need to ask.
I think following that, whenever an individual does figure out what their persona is, there are commensurate certifications that come with that. Because again, there are not one size fits all type of certifications.
Exactly.
There are specific certifications for whatever your persona might be. If you're a networking individual, you might find your
CCNA types,
CCNA
types. I started out networking.
If you're governance,
right?
There's governance type of certifications, and so
you got CAP.
Yes,
ISC square CAP.
They're just it's wherever you find your niche in your like and where you feel like you fit in the best. Then you start traveling down that route and fitting those certifications around where you feel comfortable.
Good point.
And so, because that's a interesting question too. Hey, I'm getting into the cyber field. What certification should I pursue?
Yes.
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 When you ask a very broad question like that, honestly, I believe the default answer is it all depends.
It depends.
It really does.
There's not one size fits all. But I think another takeaway from that conversation too is another question to ask is, does that institution, that education institution, do they have the right intentions for you? Because we have a phrase amongst our circle that if you take someone's money but you don't provide good value in exchange, that's called stealing. And I feel like in this situation, that college he went to, and I will not say the names to protect the guilty, but I mean they took that benefit, right?
Yeah.
This gentleman served his time, served his country, protected the freedom of the United States of America, and I just feel like maybe he could have been taken care of better. Someone could have did a better job giving him some good guidance. In my opinion, if there's a career counselor there at the colleges, that should have been a question to go through this journey to figure all that stuff out. Because,
Yeah.
like I said, they took the money, but I feel like he didn't get the value that he thought he was going to get going into that.
Yeah, I mean, information comes at a push-pull rate. There are individuals that push you information, and as an individual, you have to pull that information from other people, Google, various sites. So there is a balancing act of what information or individual he pursues that information from.
Yeah.
And so the sole onus is not necessarily on the institution that
100% correct
that taught him, but it is a factor.
It is a factor.
And so you're right. I would expect a little bit more guidance out of the institution, especially if you've offered a realistic pathway.
Yes. Ooh, you know what? You just prompted another question. Another question I would say ask is this a realistic pathway? I think that's another vital question. So let me see. Let's do a tally. We talked about what's my cyber profile, a persona.
Yeah.
What was the other thing we mentioned? We said cyber profile. There was something else, and we lost it.
Asking the right questions.
Cyber profile, asking the right questions, and then this last one you just said, which was good. And I'm also a veteran with a TPI, so you got a TBI. So work with me, y'all. This is real veteran stuff. That was that. Ooh, I lost that. Oh, is it a realistic pathway?
Yeah.
There you go. What's your cyber profile? Ask the right questions, and then another question that you need to ask on top of asking the right questions is this a realistic pathway? Because if you wanted to do some type of, I don't know, curriculum or get a degree, and that degree is not in demand, or that skill set that you're validating with a degree or credential is not in demand, then you kind of wasted your time. So these are really good questions that need to be asked. And also, too, I would just say, overall, as the whole ecosystem just needs to do a better job. Just the whole ecosystem, better collaboration, where maybe some of these institutions can kind of consult or get consulting from the practitioners. And like you said, the student should find a mentor and ask those questions. Maybe some of these administrative staffs at these institutions can do the same thing, especially like a counselor or something. Go talk to some cyber professional. Hey, how should I be guiding these students coming in? Because it's the inverse of what you were saying, where it doesn't all fall on the institution. At the same time, I feel like it doesn't all fall on that student. It's like you said, it's that the give and take, the push and pull. It's the whole ecosystem collaboration. I think that just highlights the need for better collaboration, better communication in just the cyber ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, we could go down many pathways too, but it's, to me, the biggest an outcome.
Outcome, yeah.
You know, what type of outcome can an individual expect? Is paired with the journey.
Yeah.
You know, the realistic pathway. And so I hate for an individual to be misguided, misled.
Yeah.
When there's a lot of individuals like ourselves that are willing to talk with individuals that are willing to listen as well.
You know what? And that takes me back to look into your local HDI chapter. There's others as well. You have AFCEA. Look up AFCEA. There's others. You have what is it? The ISACA?
ISACA, local ISACA chapter,
get
which
involved.
I'm a member of. Yeah, so it's
Nice.
And there are various organizations to join, to be a part of, to ask the right questions. Maybe if you're not aware of the right questions, maybe the starting point is, what are the right questions that I need to ask?
Good point. Good point. And you just gave a good example earlier.
Yeah.
Do what he did.
Yeah. Honestly,
no, this is good.
It's nothing different than stopping someone and asking for directions. Honestly, don't be afraid to do that. You're going to find practitioners like us that are more than willing to take 5 to 10 minutes out of their schedule and explain a good starting point.
Especially if you're willing to buy me a chai tea latte. I will. Hey, got to put it out there.
Yeah.
No, this is good though. So just to sum that up, we run into people that have these type of situations all the time, and I would say the biggest takeaway if you're watching this is collaborate. Don't be afraid to network, talk to people, get a mentor. Right. Get involved with an organization that will have mentors that will be more than willing to answer your questions over a cup of chai tea latte or coffee, or if you ever been around some of these organizations, maybe even some beer. I'm just putting it out there, right?
Choice.
Yeah, figure out your cyber profile, ask the right questions, and then also consider, is this a realistic pathway and what are the outcomes?
Yeah.
And if you are looking at that, any veteran out there who may be coming out, or maybe you're already transitioned out and you're looking at using your GI Bill, or anybody using any type of resource like a grant or a scholarship, definitely ask these questions. These are things you need to consider. Network, get yourself a mentor, and I think you'll have a better experience if you take this advice. What you think?
Yeah, my time mentoring individuals is you always want to send them away with homework.
Yep.
Starting out, at least send them, or at least when you interface with them for the first time, you say, hey, first time we sit down, at least have some goals. We'll discuss your goals. But a good mentor is going to chart your pathway or have that discussion with you and discuss different pathways with you. And they're going to keep you honest as well. It's not a one directional. As a mentor, you obviously have to practice active listening. You have to listen to what their goals are and whatnot, and so I think that being a good mentor as well is a part of giving back.
Yes, gotta pay it forward,
and also the ethics that are involved in being a practitioner and carrying that torch.
No, that's good. Since we started this, it seems to be a recurrent theme, the importance of networking and mentorship. So it seems like that in active listening, right, for the mentor and the mentee, get into that, get involved, ask these right questions, do your research, right? Because once and hopefully your mentor will give you that type of homework. But I think again, right, I think to sum all of that up, it goes back to collaboration.
Yeah.
It goes back to collaboration. So don't be afraid to collaborate. My heart goes out to that gentleman. This has been about a year and a half ago, but it stuck with me. I never forgot about that. So again, if you out there at the beginning of your journey, take this advice, and as always, cheers to your success.